was that darn thing that they just cracked.
I thought about the water damage.
I actually went and did some research on the bathtub, and at the time, in 2005, an antique clawfoot bathtub in good condition is about $1,000. I feel like they just ruined a priceless thing.
But she found out her sister was in hell.
When he's holding her underwater, it's like maybe very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, that's like a thing.
Mm-hmm.
And they shot it so well. But when the tub breaks, it brought me out of the movie, and I was like, my goodness. And again, like, the price of the tub and the water damage as a homeowner, I'm like, who would call the insurance, and how do you explain that? I was kind of doing, it wasn't an exorcism, but I wanted to go and visit hell. So that's like, that would be on the form. Like, it really brought me out of the movie at that moment.
Man, I hate water damage. But I'll tell you what, that's a thing to Rachel. I know you're underwater, so it's probably not hard to act. But Weisz can really pull that off. When you're watching her underwater, it looked like a life or death. I mean, I know she's acting, but she's so good.
Keanu complimented her because people always talk about how good that scene is, but he said it was easy for him. He had to hold her underwater all day, and she just got waterlogged all day long.
Yeah, she like the look on her face when she's looking at him, that really, like, she's awesome.
Yeah,
Weisz.
they must have used some really nice filtered water to really get her face through that.
Distilled.
Mm-hmm.
LaCroix.
Distilled water. So one of, if not my absolute favorite movie tropes or gags is when an actor plays their twin brother or sister.
Oh, love that.
Like
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I've never seen a bad movie where they just...
There aren't two Rachel Weisz's?
So, Megan, I hate to be the one that tells you this. But there's only one.
No, there's Rachel and Trish Weisz. Trish is her lesser known.
Van Damme holds the record for doing it the most. I think he's done it 4 times.
Yeah, 48.
Dang.
Yeah, maximum risk, right? Double trouble.
Double impact.
Two JCVDs. They've gotten lazy.
Bubble, Toil, and Trouble, the famous Mary-Kate and Ashley movie.
Yep, with Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Real twins.
With Jean-Claude Van Damme.
I think he would be a great witch in a movie.
Did I tell you I found green screen footage of Jean-Claude Van Damme and put him into a Sunday school video?
No.
Yeah, so I did a whole James Bond Sunday school curriculum like 2 summers ago, called From Heaven with Love, because that's amazing. And so I dressed up my intern like James Bond, and then he's like breaking into this fortress, and I superimposed Jean-Claude Van Damme fighting him.
I love it.
I will send you the video.
Yes,
yeah, please.
Please do.
I'm still waiting on this Jericho poster. Hey, my birthday is... Oh, wait, I'll tell you my birthday later. But yeah, my birthday's in July if you're going to make that Jericho poster. You told me that. You told me that, and it just changed my world.
No, it's a special occasion coming up, and it's going to be great.
What did you guys think about the Q weapons in this movie? You have the dragon breath. I love the holy knuckles that were made from gold blessed during the Crusades. You had bullet shards from the Pope being shot.
Assassinated.
Oh, yeah, being assassinated. You had the Moses Shroud, which I didn't explain, but it's talked about later. In the deleted scenes, they talk about it more. But I love that he had a Q, Constantine.
I love B-Man. His name was B-Man.
Yeah.
And then, like, I love that he was like, what's with you and bugs? He's like, I just like them.
And then bugs kill him.
Yeah, and then bugs get him. But I'd watch a whole movie about that guy. Like, I'd watch the Rosencrantz and Guildenstern movie about B-Man, where, like, during all this Constantine stuff, he's just, like, collecting bugs and, just, like...
hanging out in his bowling alley.
Just hanging out, thinking, well, I wonder what Constantine's doing. He's, like, real passive about the whole thing.
And he's wheeling and dealing. He's going to flea markets, buying cool stuff.
Yeah, who do you buy Dragon's Breath from?
Rick.
You go to Diagon Alley.
Yeah. So yeah, Rick is a guy who, in the comics, in the Hellblazer comics, Rick was around when the dragons were around. He is he's an incubus, and so he's been around for a long time. And Rick just sells goods on the evil black market.
But he hates the band Incubus because people always bring it up when they find out what he is.
You're an incubus? Hey, you listen to Incubus? Ugh. I don't even know.
It's just easier. By the end, he's just like, yes, I'm an incubus. It's just easier that way. Like, that's we explained it.
It's like people with the name Eileen. Everyone just sings "Come on, Eileen" to them, and they get so tired.
And they think they're the first person to do it.
Every time.
Yeah.
So every time I meet somebody, and I tell them my name's Adam, they're like, "Oh, is your wife's name Eve?" Like they think it's a funny joke.
People say that
all the time.
Oh my
all
gosh.
the
Oh
time.
my gosh.
So I just did a podcast with a guy named David Cross, and he thanked me for not going, "Hey, David Cross, the comedian, tell me a joke." I'm like, what? I didn't even think about that.
But also, you guys know each other.
Yeah, it's true. But people have really done that? Is your wife's name Eve?
Yeah, no, 100 all the time. Like it's a very common reaction to like, "Hi, my name's Adam." "Oh, is your wife named Eve?" I'm like, "What?"
Wow. That's
What?
not even smart humor.
It's not smart humor. It's not smart humor.
Do you say look over there and they look and you walk away?
No, what I do is I just say, "No, my name is just Adam, but I don't like it because it's been around forever."
Oh gosh.
Which I think is a little smarter than their joke, right?
Can I follow you around with a drum kit? And when people say that, I just go boom boom.
You know what? Only if I can never acknowledge you. Like people are like, "Why is that guy got a drum kit behind you?" I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah, who's he?
Just play it off.
No, I do have. If you and I were in close proximity, I have a band pitch that I would pitch to you. You and I would be in like like with those old crooner bands.
Yeah.
And so we would have a band, and a lot of those things are based on harmonies, and a lot of them are based on kind of people being in sync. But our band, we all hate each other. So if I'm the band leader, I'm like, when you say yeah, I say yeah, and I go yeah, and you guys go yeah, yeah, yeah. Like you never do. You never say the yeah that I asked for. If I say yeah, yeah, you say yeah, yeah, then you guys go yeah. So you never, you know what I mean? That's the whole band dynamic. It's just me and you.
The whole band is always passive aggressive.
Yeah, we all just hate each other. Like, time for the guitar solo, then the trumpet plays.
And is it going to be like an awkward, like, who hits the last note? So it's just like, bam, down, the drum with the guy, and then like, and it's just like it never ends. The song never ends because we're always playing the last resolved chord.
Yeah, it'll be like, and during the middle of a song, I'm like, thank you. It's like Rick on his fourth divorce, like just destroying the people. And it's just a passive aggressive band, but we stick together because I don't know why, because we're all deep in debt. But
I think it's actually better for the world that we live so far apart.
So I was in a band called the Brewskis, and this guy listened to it, and he said it's anti-music. So we would create some good anti-music. What do you think?
That's the best compliment you can get in
told him
2019.
he was anti-smart.
But
Anti-smart.
No, we love you.
You call me dumb? You figure it out.
No, I love this band though. When I say yeah, you say yeah. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No.
Yeah. Or just like Little John, you say yeah, okay. Like we just go
Yeah.
different directions.
Would you guys stop? Another funny thing about this movie, before I forget, because I've been wanting to say it, the director Francis Lawrence said that you could give Tilda Swinton any line and she would say it beautifully.
Yeah.
I mean,
100%.
Tilda Swinton.
She is too good.
So
again,
who wins, her or Cate Blanchett, if you pit them against each other?
Oh man.
I'm gonna boldly say Cate Blanchett because follow me for my logic here. I feel like you can beautifully insert Cate Blanchett into any movie, and she can exist within any movie. And I feel like Tilda Swinton is so otherworldly, like in a beautiful way, but that she would be jarring in different movies.
Man,
That's fair.
I don't know, guys. So I think Cate Blanchett. All right. So of all of them, right? I think my favorite performance by any of them is Cate Blanchett in Blue Jasmine. That's an all-timer performance right there. But
Yep.
Off the top of my head, I'm thinking Tilda in Snowpiercer. I'm thinking Tilda in We Need to Talk About Kevin.
Can we just pause for a minute and just say Snowpiercer, best science fiction of the 2010s?
Well, what about Edge of Tomorrow? Is that the science fiction?
Mm-hmm.
It's science fiction, but I feel like that was some very smart people saying, I saw this movie called Groundhog Day. I know how we can do it better.
Okay. Yeah, you know what? Because I'm thinking because Sunshine was 2007.
Yeah.
So I'm going to, I would say Snowpiercer's, I mean, I can't think of anything better, so sure, why not?
So I heard nothing about that movie till I bought it on DVD because I had Captain America in it, and I was like, I like Chris Evans, and he was in like a cheap bin. And I remember it was such a great experience to watch that, not knowing what was coming, and just be blown away by how good it is.
So, and
I love it, the progression through the train and just all the different little worlds you go through, but unpopular opinion, I think Chris Evans is fine, but he's a little bit of a wet noodle in my taste, and I think that Chris Pine might be better in everything.
Well,
we're firing shots.
I didn't compare Chris Pine and Chris Evans. I didn't do that. I just said I like Chris Evans.
Yeah, Megan's firing shots.
Like, I think Cellular is a fantastic movie.
Him in everything.
Oh, man. So if you go to Rotten Tomatoes and type in YouTube, type in Rotten Tomatoes, you'll see who is the best Chris. I pulled all the data for that, so watch that on YouTube as well.
Okay, Megan, I want to remain your friend. I really, really do.
Fired shots.
Have you watched Outlaw King?
Not yet.
No, we haven't.
Okay.
Is it good?
I was very excited about that movie. Big Braveheart fan, and really they could just call that movie Braveheart 2. Like, it's just a continuing story. Like, it takes place the next day. They deliver William Wallace's body after it gets torn apart to Scotland. Like, that's where it starts. I tried watching it 3 times. I could not make it through it. It's so boring.
Yeah, I'm a little bit nervous to watch it. Honestly, I think some of the feature-length movies on Netflix, it's hit or miss.
But it's got your boy in it, and
I know.
Captain Chris Pine. But I couldn't.
That's why I don't want to watch it.
You give him a bad name.
It's an ignorant love. You're like,
Yeah.
I know that the truth is out there, but
if I
choose
didn't
to just
see
watch.
it didn't happen.
No, I got it. Oh, sorry, go for it.
So do you love that movie with him and
Wonder Woman?
Tom? No, not
Hell or High Water? Princess Diaries 2?
What are we doing?
Smoking Aces?
No. He's just going through all his Chris Pine movies. But didn't he do a movie with Tom Hardy?
Yes, This Means War with Reese Witherspoon, directed by Mick G.
This Means War.
Oh my gosh. Didn't all the Chris's have their rom-com
Tom
phase?
Hardy looked boring in
Let's
that.
all just agree to strike the rom-coms from the records, because rom-coms in 2018 are far superior than many.
Because Chris Evans had What's Your Number? Well, why are we going at Chris Evans? All right, hey, I gotta say,
Megan was funny. He was like, Chris Evans.
I gotta say,
she called Captain America a wet noodle. I think what happened.
All right.
I said it was an unpopular opinion.
I gotta say, one of the best bits ever in a Movies, Films, and Flicks episode. So in our first episode, we were talking about Snowpiercer, as one would. And first episode of Movies, Films, and Flicks, I said about 7 billion times. However, there's this bit where in Snowpiercer, those guys have the axes and they stick the axes into fish. And John Levengood, who is part of this podcast and writes for Movies, Films, and Flicks, was like, when that guy is sticking his axe in that fish, I'm drop kicking him. And that's been one of our chants for Movies, Films, and Flicks. Whenever a henchman sticks an axe into a fish, that's when you attack him. You don't wait for him to undunk his axe.
I will say this as a response to that. That's the exact perfect time to attack someone. 100%. Is a drop kick the best go-to move?
I think if you're one-on-one,
you are
yes.
tight in space.
But if you're in a train, like you're not using jujitsu on a train, and you don't want to leave your feet because you'll get steamrolled. So maybe like a good front kick, like a Dolph Lundgren front kick.
I'm all about a punch to the neck, punch to the side of the neck.
Just pop him in the neck.
The way that John Constantine punched a demon / a woman in the neck in the beginning of this movie.
Oh, he did. Yeah.
100%. So I've only been in a fight one time in my life, and I just punched a guy in the neck.
Did it work for you?
And well, here's the thing. I didn't know. I was just swinging randomly. I didn't know that that's like a defense thing, because there's a blood vessel that goes to your brain, runs alongside your neck. And if you hit it hard enough, it stops the blood going to your brain, and your brain needs to like reboot.
Oh wow! So you rebooted a guy?
He dropped to the floor, and then I was like, maybe he's dead. And then the first thing he said was, I can't see anything. Because like his brain was rebooting. So it's like you get your speech back and your hearing back and your eyes back. And then he's like, what just happened? And he was all stunned. So I think a punch in the neck is a better idea than a drop, because a good drop kick, you're on the ground as well.
Yep.
I think that's part of the defensive moves that Sandra Bullock teaches when she's on stage in Miss Congeniality.
Miss Congeniality?
Yes.
You wanna hug me. You wanna.
What is that? Her sing the solar plexus instep neck?
Yeah.
Groin.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I was in high school, my sister